May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept Molana for coming here, and for that I'll pass it on to you.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله العليم الخبير المتقن النظام العالم بلا معين ونصير فسبحان الله الذي حكمته بالغة وعلمه غزير ونعمه واصلة إلى كل صغير وكبير ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له في نقير ولا قطمير ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله الذي هدانا بكتاب منير ودعانا إلى الله بالإنذار والتبشير صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه ما دامت الكواكب تسير أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون صدق الله العظيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. My dear respected friends and brothers and perhaps sisters and youngsters, so this talk, to be very honest with you, should have been given how long ago? Beginning of Shaban. Who said, oh, that's cheating. By the way, you guys have him and you guys call me, man. Thank God he answered. You guys, do you know there's a rule, there's a maxim, a legal maxim. Where there's water, you can't make tayammum. You know? No, you don't. That's why you call me. I'm just kidding. So, sorry, excuse me. He's known me since I was like 6. I gotta be him and a few others here, by the way. I try to ignore them my whole life, just like Rayan tried to ignore me now. I know Rayan since he was 6. I'm gonna expose Rayan for a second. He used to go to a school in which I was teaching. I happened to be one of the teachers, and I was an administrator in the office as well. So this, Rayan, I hope you don't mind, but it's spectacular. Imagine 11 years later, and I still remember. It must have been something that caught my eye or ear. So he walked inside, and I needed to know who his father was, because I just there's something regarding administration. So I asked him what's his name. He said Rayan. He's a big boy now, but he was like in junior kindergarten at the time. He was 4. I think he was 4 years old. Wallahu alam, if I can remember correctly, or 5. And I asked him, who's your father? I needed to check something perhaps in the system, where I just wanted to know to become. And he said, Abba. I said, wow. I mean, I don't know. We produce monsters nowadays, but that was no monster. He didn't know his dad's name at that age. Can you appreciate? This is remarkable. I asked him, I'm the administrator. I need to know your dad's name, kid. Abba. I said, wow. But anyways, yeah, I try to hide from some of the elders that we have here when I was not that young, a little older than that, but still. This talk, thanks to your respected, His Eminence, your scholar, your Imam, this talk should have been given 6 months ago. This talk, to welcome the month of Ramadan, is not a talk that we were supposed to have 2 days, and according to some, maybe even 1 day before the first Tarawih tomorrow night. This talk actually is supposed to be delivered months in advance. And those who used to welcome the month of Ramadan 6 months, this is not just a number that's made up, this is facts. Those before us, when we talk about, by the way, those before us, they were a whole different breed. They walked on 2 feet, they had 32 teeth, and they had a nose with 2 nostrils, etc. No. Apart from that, they were a completely different generation of people. These people, those that were closer to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam than we are, and unfortunately those coming afterwards, than they will be, were much more fortunate than just the fact that they lived during that time, a time that was closer to the Prophet ﷺ and further away from the coming of Dajjal, the end of times. They were just more fortunate than we were. And the closer you go to that time, the more fortunate they were. Even if they weren't the greatest, the giants, the sages of those ages, they were still fortunate that they lived in that time. We live in this time. You know, has anybody seen that Rogers truck outside on the street sometimes? You know Rogers, Ted Rogers? There's a saying on the back of some of those trucks. Ted Rogers is quoted. It says, the best is yet to come. That's the biggest lie. Yeah. That is completely in contradiction to what you and I believe, my friends. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. The worst is yet to come. And every day that goes by, it only gets worse. Because we just went 1 day further away from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and one day closer to Dajjal and everything else that awaits us. All the signs, the end of times. So yeah, the worst is yet to come. If those people, there's a reason why I'm telling you all this. By the way, nothing that I'm going to tell you is just a bunch of gibberish. For the record, as irrelevant, I'm going to come back. I'm going to make it relevant. It's going to be completely related to what we're talking about. The worst is yet to come, which means those people then, 900 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 1,200 years ago, and indeed the golden era of Islam, 1,400 years ago, if they prepared for the welcoming of Ramadan, and they're from that generation, imagine how much you and I should be preparing for Ramadan. The day Ramadan finished last year, 1444, we should have already started mentally, physically, spiritually preparing for the Ramadan that's about to start tomorrow. And I hate to tell you, starting with me, myself first, I've done nothing to welcome Ramadan thus far until I sat on this chair just now. Now it's finally starting to hit me that tomorrow night here in this very masjid, perhaps, maybe if not tomorrow night, then definitely the night that follows, we're going to be praying Salat Tarawih. That moon is going to be seen. And there's literally a day or two remaining. What have we done? Oh, during the course of this next hour or so, I am going to say things, frankly, especially because I'm not the imam at this place, that are not so melodious to your ears. They are going to make your stomach shake. I do apologize in advance. I might continue to apologize during the course of the talk, but it's facts. Let me be very honest with you. Sure, somebody can come and tell you, in a very compassionate, loving, kind, that's good. Absolutely. But sometimes we need to be told some facts. Honestly. Sometimes we need to be put in our place. Not that God sent me as a mercy to mankind to be the one. Oh, no. Let me be honest with you. I'm more in need of checking myself before wrecking myself than anybody in the masjid right now. But somebody needs to do the dirty job. If I'm going to be the monster, hey, no problem. Perhaps somebody before going home, somebody's going to be inspired. Somebody's going to want to change something today, now, tonight, before the break of the sun goes down. If even one person here chooses to bring about the smallest, slightest change, I won. I'm a made man. I go home from here, 41 minutes. I go home and I feel good. I'm never going to know if somebody did change, if somebody did choose to bring about they decided to leave out and abandon a certain bad, evil practice, or they stopped doing something which was a result of thereby incurring Allah's wrath, whatever it may be. But if anyone chooses to change anything, I think it's a big dub, right? I think it's a win for all of us, for every single one of us. We were present in that same gathering. You're never going to come to find out. Don't try. If you did, our hearts would burst. We were there present in that same very gathering whereby a person decided, that's it. I've had enough. How much more music am I going to listen to? I had a talk just a couple of weeks ago, and then they had these question-answer sessions. You didn't offer that, so we're not going to have one here. But they had question-answer session at the end of the talk. So somebody asked, am I allowed to listen to music during the month of Ramadan? Huh? Like, why even ask that question to begin with? Sorry to all those amongst you that think music's going to get you through it. I'm really sorry. For anybody who thinks I can't do it without music, you're so delusional, my friend. Wallahi, if you but knew what Allah... What? Everything's okay? After Asr, I was going to make an announcement if we can fundraise for a new mic, but now it's coming to haunt me. Thank God I didn't say anything till now. If we but knew what Allah has in store for me and you in Jannah, wallahi, we would never, ever even entertain the thought of perpetrating a single sin of Allah's obedience and transgression. But we don't know. We don't talk about it either. Last night I went to a da'wat, and tonight I have to go to another da'wat. And my dear respected uncle knows. He knows this as well. So I was at a da'wat, And one person in the Dawah started speaking about ETFs and stocks and business and commerce. And he went on and on and on. And the person that he was talking to was just as well informed and researched and well versed in that discussion or theme of topic as he was. So they were, and I'm sitting there and I'm sitting there and I'm sitting there. And frankly, I don't know nothing about that stuff. It doesn't tickle my fancy. I'm not engaged. I'm not entertained. So I'm sitting there. At times I'm eating chocolate, and at times with the green tea. At times I'm eating some dry nuts. At times I'm eating, but I'm thinking, you know what? What if I started my discussion? Let me talk to these people what I want to talk to. You know what's going to happen? A, they'll probably never invite me to that da'wah again. B, they're all going to drop their heads or start looking at their watches or take out their phones. Why is it like that? Why does nobody want to hear this talk? You know, right before Salat, two people were talking to each other. I'm assuming they're high school kids. This is what high school kids probably ask each other. Are you taking chemistry? Do you like chemistry? I thought to myself, when I was in high school, these aren't the type of questions we ask one another. Do you like chemistry? Who likes chemistry, for God's sake? But that's okay. That's still a very decent discussion to be had versus the things that other high school kids talk about nowadays. Hey, they come home. Those kids come home, and boy, oh boy, the questions that they have. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect and preserve the iman of every single one of us and our progenies to come until the day of judgment. Why? Because the worst is yet to come. Yeah. It only gets bad. Anyways, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa barik wa sallam. Before tomorrow, or before the day after tomorrow, we're going to discuss why this talk that should have taken place 6 months ago is still very important that it takes place now. This verse of the Holy Quran that you have right before you here, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, oh you who, well, I don't think you should sit in this talk. I just realized I get really, I just realized right now, and at times I'm not going to see, do we have like another chair or office? Maybe we can request them to sit. Sorry. So Allah says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu said, when this address is being made, oh, you ought to listen. You better start listening. Listen attentively. Anything. There's like 90 such places in the Holy Quran where Allah addresses us with, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Oh, you who believe. It's something Allah is about to order you, and you better incorporate that into your life. This isn't an option. And I hate to tell you this. I apologize again. And yet, Islam doesn't care about your feelings. I'm going to be very honest with you. Today, things have changed. Today, things have drastically changed compared to what they were like. You know, when these verses were being revealed. By the way, during which month was the month of Ramadan, during which month did the fasting of the month of Ramadan come down? No, Mona, please don't answer. Somebody said? Rajab. You're so close, but no miswak. What is it? If he's so close, is Rajab and then there's Ramadan. What lies in between? Shaban. Good job. At least we know the names of the months of the Islamic calendar. We should know these names. Wallahi al-Azim, we should know these names. I'm really sorry. This is going to get disrespectful. If there's somebody here older than me, I'm 28 years old. No, I'm not. If there's somebody here that's older than me that doesn't know the names of the 12 months of the Islamic lunar calendar, what are we doing? You know how I learned them? Wallahi, this is true. And everything else I told you tonight, and it's going to be true. I learned them from, you know that? These are the months of Islam. Muharram, Safar, Rabiul Awwal, Rabiul. I'm not shy. I couldn't care less. Some of you might be thinking, oh my God, what's wrong with this guy? Who called him? I don't care. I know the 12 months. Some of you don't. Fam, I win, right? I get the last laugh. I know the 12 months, and you know, this is the sha'air of Islam. These are some of the salient features of Islam. Everybody knows January, February, March. I can't remember correctly, but these are probably the names of some Greek gods or goddesses. And like just like many other things that they instilled into our brains when we were innocent little children. We don't know Muharram, Safar, Rabiul Awwal, Why don't we know this though? So you should have known. Every single one of us should have known. The fasting that's a little more academic. I'm not going to lie, but you're going to learn other things as well. The fasting of the month of Ramadan was prescribed during the month of Sha'ban. Why am I telling you this? You're about to fast for one straight month. You've never fasted but maybe a couple of days throughout the year before this. Perhaps the 10th of Muharram or maybe some other days, okay? You're about to fast one entire month. One whole month from the break of true dawn until the sun goes down, you're going to fast. And you've only been informed less than a month ago. No questions asked. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said it, I tell you, they were a different breed. Imagine us, oh my God, but we needed some time. No, this isn't fair. No, you just can't ask us. No, I don't understand. It should have come down gradually. Hold on. They were just groomed. They were molded. They're such a special breed. I'm referring to the companions of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah prescribed the fasting, and without a second thought, every one of them began to fast. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Allah is about to tell you something. Incorporate it into your life. If it's something that we've got to commit, and if it's something of omission, then you better be ready to completely disown, completely take out, leave out, dust that chapter, dust your hands, move on. If Allah wants thereby that we have to say bye to something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to say bye to. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Listen up. There are so many of these Ya ayyuhalladhina amanus. Which one of these have I actually lived by? Honestly, this isn't like one of those talks where, yeah, he's going to come, he'll scream at us for a little bit, and then we're all in this together. But let's just be very brutally straight and honest with one another. Like, this is a talk during which we're hoping to inspire ourselves to get ready for Ramadan. What have you done from last Ramadan till tomorrow or the day after? The next Ramadan, what have we done? Honestly, if we haven't done anything, okay, what are we willing to do? And you know, the changes that we're going to try, the resolutions and the goals that we're going to try to set are extremely different from the goals that those before us set. We have so many distractions. I think if we were just to cut out the time that we spent on these devices, we would probably enjoy one of the greatest Ramadans ever. And of course, you're going to take that time and you're going to have to supplicate it. You're going to have to replace it with something that's like, worthwhile. I was sitting with somebody in a car on Wednesday or something. I can't remember. But anyways, I picked him up from the airport. I was dropping him off at home. And I told him, Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah, during the month of Ramadan, he used to finish the Holy Quran how many times? Oh, okay, I'll just give you, it's right? 61. He used to finish the Holy Quran 61 times. Let that marinate. My friends, is there somebody here? I hope someone raises their hands. For my respect for this entire community of Brampton will just... Is there anybody here who has finished the Holy Quran, the whole Holy Quran, 61 times during their whole holy life? Think about it. What the man used to do every single month of Ramadan. So when I said this to him, you guys are very shy and modest. You reacted differently. He instantly, because we're boys, his jaw dropped, his eyebrows raised. He said, huh? How? I said, now stop. I love this reaction. You know why? If you would have told that same Muhammad ibn Idris al-Shafi'i rahimahullah 1,000 years ago, that a time's going to come when a Muslim, a fellow Muslim, a believer in Allah and in his messenger, a follower, and a believer in the last day, they're going to come. There's going to be believers that are going to sit in front of a device or a screen for 5 hours to binge watch some ludicrous, nonsensical stuff on Netflix. I think, forget his jaw dropping, I think Imam Shafi'i would collapse and faint. You know how we're so... 61 times during 1 month, bro. Prove it to me. Everybody wants proof now. Prove it to me. I don't believe. I'd have to prove to him that a time's gonna come when people will just sit and watch, or YouTube Shorts. I'm being modest. I'm not even. Oh no. I'm just playing PS5. I'm just being modest. This is. A dad came and complained to me once. He said, "My son, he plays too much every single day. Can you talk to him?" I said, "Sure." Out of curiosity, I asked, "How long does he play for?" He said he plays for guaranteed 6 hours every day. Bruh. 6 hours every day he sits in front of a screen gaming? Someone who believes in Allah and in his messenger? Might seem funny at first, but this is something that, whoa. Of course, somebody like this is going to question, how did Imam Shafi'i complete? Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, rahimahullah. By the way, these are the dues of Ramadan. I hope you're getting ideas. I hope you're inspiring. Nobody's going to ask you to read the Quran 61 times. Can I flex for a second? Wallahi, I'm not doing this to show off. But one Ramadan, long time ago, when I just finished my studies and I hadn't gotten married, I tried to be Imam Shafi'i once. I mean, I think I did relatively good. Wallahi, I'm not trying to show off. Please don't label me something by the time. You can cancel me, Imam, but still, just don't. I read the Quran in one Ramadan once, 22 times. That's the greatest I've ever done. 22 times. So it's actually possible. This stuff might just actually be, I don't doubt it. And my heart does not an iota of doubt regarding any of their practices. Imam Ahmad, so that's one. When the month of Ramadan is going to start, before anything else, you're going to increase, okay? Shaitan is going to be locked up. Whether it's him, the big one, the little ones, all the little ones that he has running around, they're all going to be locked up. And the gates of Jannah are flung open. The gates of Jahannam are shut closed. So you've got this opportunity to try to be the best version of yourself. The first thing that you're going to incorporate into your schedules come tomorrow or the day after, number one, more than anything else, is the recitation of the Holy Quran. I hope every other talk that you've listened to in preparation for the month of Ramadan thus far was hopefully on the same wavelength. You're going to take your worship to a whole different level, your salat, your charity, everything that you possibly can think of. But first and foremost, the one thing that you're going to take it to a whole different level is the recitation of the Holy Quran. Number one. I hope every single one of us is able to do this. If you've been reading all year long, I'm being nice, all year long. Sorry, I'm sorry if it's mean, but how many of us here read all year long? The Quran is not for your shelf, it's for yourself. Wallahi al-Azim, just like you couldn't go to sleep hungry, we should not have been able to sleep a single, the day you moved or the day something big came up or I know the real ones, despite this, they calculate. If tonight I'm going to be at a dawat, or tonight I'm going to be there, or tonight I'm going to have to move, or today I'm going to be doing, they're going to make sure they get that in such hours of the day or the night where the day doesn't go by without their rest. Nobody is like that, though. If you talk to people like this, who's he talking about? I think he's in his own little fantasy world. Why? I know kids myself that play on devices for 6 hours. Why can't I have a kid that stands up here from amongst you now? Raise your hand and tell me, Sheikh, I think you're wrong. Brother, I think you're wrong. I read Quran for 1 hour a day. If you're not in Hifz class, for the record. Easy there. Some tigers are about to stick out their chest. Hold on. I used to be in Hifz class once upon a time, too. I ain't going to tell you what I did in Hifz class. But yeah, great things. Okay, that was, yeah. Why can't somebody that goes to work, a professional, you've got a wife, you've got 2 kids. I read every single day, and this is how long I read for. You don't have to. You don't expose your good deeds. No, you keep them as hidden as your bad ones. But why don't we have that fervor, though? Why doesn't, even in Ramadan, I hate to tell you this, the first 10 days, we're amped. The first 5 days, we're pumped. Whoa, we can go. We thought we were rejuvenated. We've got all the energy in the world. And then slowly, why, man? Why? Why is it like that? Why is it awkward to speak about Allah? Why is it awkward to be like, the next time your boy calls you to go chill, be like, you know what we do? 12 of us are going to meet tonight. 12 of us. You know what we're going to do? You know what? When we do get together for the first 1 hour of our meeting tonight, everybody sitting in this gathering is going to read the Quran. Watch what they do to you. Good luck and invitation for the next one. Why is it, man? You know who? Abdullah bin Rawaha. Now I'm going to ask, because I'm a monster, who's Abdullah bin Rawaha? And I'm hoping, wallahi, I'm not here to scare you. I am here to prepare you. I'm not here to be like, oh, he made us feel like garbage. Wallahi al-azim, that's not why I'm here. Let me tell you the truth. I'm not here to make, if you know how big garbage I am myself, I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad of themselves, feel low of themselves. No. I do want somebody to go back home tonight with some realization like, yo, bro, I think he's kind of right. Who knows Abdullah bin Rawaha? 3. Hey, homeboy there with the black sweater on. What's October's very own? Who's OVO? Drake. It's like Drake. Say no more. It's like Drake. You just took care of everything. He didn't even hesitate. I love you. No, but he didn't even hesitate. He just walked into the gathering like, I don't know last, but who's Abdullah bin Rawaha? Okay. Yes.
I think he was a Sahaba, right?
You think he was a Sahabi. We'll give you 37% right. He was a Sahabi. I didn't even think about asking you if he was a Sahabi or not. I'm getting really mean at this point. But which Sahabi is this? Tell me one thing. Yes? A Sahabi of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if he was younger than me. But yeah. Who is? Yeah.
He's one of the ones that gave bayt to Rasulullah at Medina.
He's one of the Sahaba that gave bayt to from in Aqaba. Okay. So what's he synonymous with though? Remember in the battle of Mu'tah, an illustrious battle in the history of Islam. The Prophet ﷺ said, Zayd radiallahu anhu is going to hold the flag of Islam. And when Zayd radiallahu anhu falls, goes back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ja'far bin Abi Talib radiallahu anhu, his beloved dear cousin, he's going to pick up the flag of Islam, and then with one flag, what's going to happen, and then what's going to happen, and then what's going to happen, and then Allah is going to replace those arms with wings in Jannah. And then after Ja'far radiallahu anhu falls, the flag of Islam in Mu'tah was going to be picked up by Abdullah bin Rawaha. The next one to lead and command the Muslim army is Abdullah. So the third one, Zayd bin Haritha, Ja'far bin Abi Talib, Abdullah bin Rawaha. And once he falls, now many of us are going to know the answer to this question. Who's the fourth that's going to pick up the flag and he's not going to fall? Yes, Khalid bin Walid radiallahu anhu. Yes, you should be proud of these people. Wallahi al-azim, you shouldn't be shy. You should be screaming these answers. Why though? Why not? Are these not the people we should aspire to become? Are these not the people that we're going to wish? Wallahi, we're going to wish we're standing even close to these people. Last Sunday, and I'm sure he knows, this is kind of embarrassing. Me and him were discussing this, not Sunday, Wednesday, lest I forget. We were discussing this talk here. And I don't know, he saw some picture on some WhatsApp or something of me at the basketball game. And then he sent me in the middle of our discussion, we're talking, so yeah, inshallah, this is going to be we're going to have the overhead projector, and inshallah. And he's like, yo, I said, huh? What happened? In the middle of the discussion running. And he sent me the picture. I was sitting courtside. I'm not going to lie. And to flex on you a little bit more, wallahi, I'm telling you this for a reason. I met Luka Doncic. I met Kyrie Irving, my favorite player, greatest ball handler and finisher of all time. And I met them. Okay, I met them. We know their names, and we try to take pictures with these of these people. Take pictures with these people. Right. I hate to tell you this. Kyrie's a Muslim, inshallah, but all the others that we be like and we talk like, and we're not going to want to be them on the day of judgment. Oh boy, we're not. And if you knew who the Sahaba were too, you would spend your life learning who Khalid bin Walid radiallahu anhu is, or the same Sahabi, Abdullah bin Rawaha, or Ja'far bin Abi. You'd spend the rest of your life just learning who these people are. We aspire to be like zombies. These are like living dead. I'm really sorry, but yeah. Our people were living. Our people are alive. Our people, but things have changed. In Arabic, I heard my teacher said this. He said, he quoted somebody else. He said, Kunna ru'ata ghanam. We used to be shepherds, and we used to take care of flocks and herds of goats and sheep. فجاء الإسلام. Allah blessed us, the shepherds, with Islam. فأصبحنا رعاة أمم. When Allah blessed us with Islam, we became leaders of entire nations. The same people, shepherds is a nice term to describe them. Other historians refer to them as dogs of the Arabian desert. When those same people were blessed with Islam, they became the leaders of entire nations. Superpowers of the then known world crumbled at their feet. And then he said, فَتَرَكْنَا الْإِسْلَامِ. Times changed. We started to leave Islam. Yeah. He said, فَأَصْبَحْنَا غَنَمٌ تَرْعَانَ الْأُمَمِ. We became the goats and the sheep, and our shepherds, leaders, became other nations. Take that in. That's what happened. We've unfortunately lost it. Nobody wants to talk about a Sahabi. Nobody does. Nobody talks about Allah anymore. Imagine getting together with a group of people in the masjid, in the house of God, and sorry, whoever that was earlier, I apologize, but I mean, forget chemistry then. Talk about anything. How do you come to Allah's house and talk about something else? I mean, we come to Allah's house but you want to be cool. Everyone wants to be the cool guy. Let me tell you, you want to know who's cool? You'll see on the day of judgment who's cool. When you see all these people, you're going to find out who's who in the zoo. When these people, oh, you know who I aspire to meet? Inshallah, if I don't see him in Jannah, if I don't see him on the day of judgment, because it's going to be hectic, chaotic, I'm going to see him. That was a big slip. There was a teacher teaching a class, a Muslim teacher teaching. No, a teacher, non-Muslim teaching a class, and she taught the kids that whales, big fish, despite how massive they are in size, they can't swallow a whole human being. They have very small pipes. So one of the Muslim girls with good yaqeen and conviction, in the back of the class, she raised her hand. She said, "Teacher." The teacher said, "What?" She said, "We as Muslims believe that the Prophet Yunus was swallowed by a whale." The teacher got frustrated because now you're defying her logic or her science. So the teacher said to the class, "Don't worry about what she's saying. It doesn't mean anything. I'm telling you scientific, and we can prove it with scientific facts." But anyways, the girl's got complete conviction. She wants an answer. She raised her hand again. She said, "Well, teacher, when I go to heaven, Jannah, I'm going to ask the Prophet Yunus how he made it inside the stomach of the whale." The teacher got very angry. Ma'adallah, she said something very absurd. Ma'adallah. She said, "Well, what if the Prophet Yunus didn't make it to paradise and he ended up in the other place?" So the kid said, "Then you can ask him." So that was a very bad mistake. So if we don't see him on the day of judgment, we'll see him in Jannah, inshallah. Oh, I aspire to. Wallahi al-Azim. Even when I went to this game, never in my entire life would I go to pay for that ticket. Just let me make myself clear. I need justification. I have to be very clear, I've never in my life thought about paying for that ticket. One. Two, there's so much to reflect from all this, though. You go to the game, I hugged Kyrie Irving, and then people thought, I photoshopped the picture. Second, they think no, that's not, get out of here. But anyways, you must be a loser to have to Photoshop anyways. But you go home after that. What happened? I'm not Kyrie Irving or Luka Doncic. I met Jason Kidd too. And then I'm not these people. They're huge celebrities, millions of followers, and this and that and the other. I'm a potato. I'm going to go back to my house, to the couch potato. Facts. These people are huge. We're nothing. But let me tell you, when this potato is going to, and not just this potato, excuse me, just metaphorically speaking, all these potatoes, all of us, believers, when we're going to stand in salah for the next salah that we're going to pray, okay, which none of those non-Muslims have the opportunity to do. This is exclusive for me or you. We're going to stand in salah. Okay, the hadith of Sahih Muslim, hadith Qudsi. And we're going to recite Allahu Akbar. And then we recite the thana. After that, we recite Ta'awudh and Tasmiyah. And then we recite Surah Fatiha. And the moment I began my recitation, this potato, who's not Kyrie Irving, doesn't make as much money as Luka Doncic. Don't worry about that. Let me tell you what this potato does make. The moment I said, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, from above the seven heavens, this potato's Rabb responded to me instantly. He said, Hamidani Abdi, my slave has praised me. Wallahi, I can message, I'm flexing again. I'm telling for a reason though. I can message Imam Umar Sulaiman right now on my phone. Okay? He probably reply to me by tomorrow. Some of you might know him, some of you, the elders do. Okay, the moment he responds to me, I get this rush. Hey, yo, Imam Umar Sulaiman responded to me. One day later, how long before I began the recitation of Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, I only recited Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Potato's response was given instantly. Allah said, Hamidani Abdi. And it wasn't just a one-off. Then I said, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Allah said, Majjadani Abdi. That's what these potatoes have. Potato specials. That's what Ramadan was for. Oh, we have to finish this verse. So, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. If you people but knew. Abdullah ibn Abbas said, listen up. Listen, man. Listen. Oh, my God. That picture they took of Jason Kidd with me, we're talking. I sent it. People said, what were you guys talking about? Who cares what this guy and I are talking about? Listen to what Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu is talking about. I'm telling you, the amount of reflections you can take from an incident like that is remarkable. Or you could just be sitting there like excuse me, for lack of better terms, like a donkey, just cheering and screaming. And no, I'm sitting there just completely in shock the entire time. Like, this is what it is? Thousands of dollars to sit on the seat for a period of 3 hours to do what? Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Oh, if we knew. Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu anhuma, he used to read the Quran like this. He used to read one verse. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Qul huwallahu ahad. He used to close the Quran. He used to say, Hadha kalamu Rabbi. This is my Lord's speech. Pause. Hold on. Open up. Allahu Samad. Close. Hadha kalamu Rabbi. Allah said Allahu Samad. Not Jason Kidd or Luka Doncic. No. If we but knew, man. There's not an interview in the world. There's not a book that you'll read. There's no treatise, nothing for which Allah has promised. Man qara'a harfan min kitabillah falahu bihi hasana wal hasanatu bi ashri amthaliha. He who read one letter of the book of Allah, Allah gave him a good deed that was multiplied minimum 10 times the like thereof in its reward. 1 times 10. You know the Mus'haf with the 15 lines? On each line, on each page, it's got 15 lines. On each line, there's approximately 30 letters. On one page, that makes 450 letters. Times 10, 4,500 good deeds in lieu, in exchange for the recitation of one page of the Holy Quran alone. If we but knew. You watch Netflix, you can watch a whole, not just an episode, watch the whole series. You get nothing but that time that's going to be accounted for in the day of judgment. Oh boy. One page, 4,500 good deeds. The first and foremost thing we're going to add, if not multiply exponentially, on our list of things to do during the month of Ramadan is the recitation of the Holy Quran. Please, for the sake of Allah, give something up. Whatever it may be, for whoever it may be, respectfully. If it's TikTok for some, it's an epidemic, it's a disease. If it's Instagram for some, if it's binge watching Netflix for some, if it's YouTube shorts for some, if it's watching sports for some, if it's whatever it may be, for whoever it may be, give up something just to give more to the Holy Quran during the month of Ramadan. Imam Malik is the great Imam of Madinatul Munawwara. Imam Malik is known for his love of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Imam Malik's profession was teaching a hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He used to sit in Madinatul Munawwara, in the city of the Prophet, and he used to teach the sayings of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In other words, why you needed that little intro of who this great man was, there's not a single one of us here with a greater profession or a job than that of Imam Malik rahimahullah. All right. Having said that, Imam Malik, whose profession is what? What is it? Teaching hadith. Come the month of Ramadan, Imam Malik would say, stop. The teaching of hadith will be stopped for the month of Ramadan, just so I can give all my time to what? To the Quran. We can't give up some God knows what. I told you, like, for those of you that came a little later, I already had a disclaimer. I am going to be a little, at times, harsh. Kindly forgive me. But we can't give up some nonsense. Imam Malik just put what on hold? The teaching of hadith. Where? In the city of the Prophet. What that must feel like. We say, oh, mashallah, I saw the green dome, and oh, Imam Malik, born, raised, teaching his entire life. Oh, what love for the Prophet. He's lived, died in Madinatul Munawwara. His entire life spent therein. He's never walked in Madinatul Munawwara with his chappals on, for fear that his foot with a chappal on might be placed over a place where the Prophet ﷺ placed his Mubarak foot. He's never mounted a conveyance in Madinatul Munawwara. How can I ride where the Prophet ﷺ may have walked? This is a whole different level now. I don't know, some of you are going to be able to digest this. He's never relieved himself, i.e., used the washroom in Madinatul Munawwara. Anytime he had to answer the call of nature, he left the boundary. Of course, Medina wasn't as big as it is today, but despite that, he left, relieved, and then came back. This man, with that love, gave up that profession for the Holy Quran during the month of Ramadan. Please, for Allah's sake, give up something. Not that we don't. We all read Quran during the month of Ramadan, mashallah, tabarakallah. And 2 days from now, or a day from now, this Ramadan, just make it a little more different. Just do a little extra. So that way, we can literally, not to show off like I did about the 22. No. For yourself. When Ramadan actually is gone, you'll feel accomplished. For yourselves. You'll feel like, bro, I did something. No need to post it on Instagram, share it on TikTok, make a video, let it go viral. No, not at all, as a matter of fact. For yourselves. That individual who did that extra this year, come the day of Eid, the ecstasy, he's euphoric. He or she is celebrating differently. He may not have the same halwa and the same whatever you have on the day of Eid, but his feeling is completely different from the one to whom Ramadan came, Ramadan gone, it left its name to carry on. Those who knew it well. Those who didn't could go. No, whoa. So you understand? Don't let Ramadan be that for you, man. Don't. Do something else this Ramadan that when the day of Eid comes, Eid Mubarak is going to hit different. This Eid is going to, why? Not because I got more ED. I got more money. I hope you did too, but no, man. No, that's not like Eid. You know what Eid was supposed to be? Eid was supposed to be to celebrate and commemorate all the worship that we did during the month of Ramadan. We've completely lost it. We ate so much during the month of Ramadan, during suhoor and futur, iftar, that Eid was just like, all right, this just another suhoor, a little later, that's about it. That's not what, I mean, no. Ramadan was supposed to be, okay, kutiba alaykum as-siyam. Allah has said, kutiba alaykum, fasting has been made obligatory, prescribed on you, just as it was. Kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum, la'allakum tattaqun. Why? I can ask you, so we feel empathy and compassion, and we feel what the others are feeling. Those who are less fortunate, those who are impoverished, those who are poor, destitute, needy, 100%. All of that, coupled with all of that, let me tell you why Allah tells us why fasting. Why we fast. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. That is the answer. That is the answer. What is it? So that you may attain taqwa. I'm going to give you a definition of taqwa. And this is hopefully everybody's going to be able to understand it. أَن تَجْعَلَ بَيْنَكَ وَبَيْنَ عَذَابِ اللَّهِ وِقَايَةً. Taqwa means to create between us and Allah's punishment a barrier. Got it? To make, to create, to erect between us and between Allah's punishment a barrier. We're fasting so that as a result of this fast, anything that I have in my life that may possibly be a means of incurring Allah's displeasure, bye-bye. Bye-bye. The month of Ramadan will begin just tomorrow or the day after. 29 or 30 days later. If that evil, that disobedience, that sin, that vice, that transgression that was prevalent in my life tomorrow is still in my life after 29 or 30 days, I hate to tell you, fam, you grab yourself a big fat L. Yeah. Don't be that guy. Which guy? رُبَّ صَائِمٍ لَيْسَ لَهُ مِنْ صِيَامِهِ إِلَّا الْجُوعِ. Said the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Many people will fast. Oh yeah, we're all gonna fast. You don't have a choice. Even the little ones sometimes they fast. It's so awesome. Fasting is cool. Some of us, those who've reached the age of mutual responsibility, you better fast. Okay. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, many are gonna fast, but unfortunately, sadly, tragically, they got nothing from this fast but hunger. All they were able to accomplish, all they earned, one entire, have you ever told a non-Muslim friend that you're fasting and that how long are you going to fast for? Just 2 days? No. For one whole month. 1 month of fasting, dude. Oh, have you ever experienced that? What did we get from it? Nothing but hunger. Oh, what a loss we incurred. Really? لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. What evil did I erase, delete, eradicate from my life as a result of لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ for 1 whole month? That's what Ramadan is. And we all have something. For some of us, it's our eyes. Oh boy, do these eyes commit treacherous acts. Oh boy. For whoever it may be, the eyes would be very wise to realize that these eyes are going to get us into deep trouble on the day of judgment. Wallahi al-azim. And if fasting isn't going to help us with controlling our eyes, averting our gaze, and it's, honestly, it's not even, before you'd have to go outside and walk on the street and then see something, then perhaps now it's all on this weapon of mass distraction. It's all on this thing alone. And to oh my goodness, oh my, the trouble that this thing's going to get so many people in on the day of judgment. For some of us, it's our ears. We just have to listen to haram. And I hate to tell you, kids, you can't even watch a video, a gaming video, a Twitch or anything. You can't even do nothing without music anymore. It's almost impossible. Yeah, for some of us, it's our tongues, the language with which some of us speak. Some of us may not even be, fortunately to that aspect, we don't have a problem of using vulgarity. We're not obscene when we speak. But the manner in which we address our parents, mind-boggling. Ali radiallahu anhu said, I'm shocked at that individual who talks back basically, uses his tongue or her tongue sharply at the mother who taught him or her how to speak. Kid, you learn how to talk. Your mom taught, and then you grow up and you learn some language. You think you've got it all. Now at 12, I deserve. At 15, I'm entitled. At 18, I take action. Go home, man. Who teaches this? Go home. Wake up. If we but knew, man. So you're going to fast. I'm going to fast. We're all going to fast. Hopefully we'll have a blast. Let me tell you, sins, leave them in the past. Don't bring them back. The Prophet ﷺ said, Wail, Jibreel alayhi salam ascended the pulpit and he made the dua. And the Prophet ﷺ responded to the dua 3 times. What was it, Ya Rasulullah? One of those du'as that was made. Wailun liman adraka Ramadana falam yughfar la. Wail is it's pretty scary. It's like destruction. May that person be annihilated. In other words, it's a dua, a bad dua. Or a bad dua from the Prophet ﷺ, for the record. Or it's a pit in hell. Regardless of what it is, bye-bye. The Prophet ﷺ said, woe, misery to that individual who lived through the whole of Ramadan but wasn't able to secure Allah's pardon and forgiveness. Like, what did you do? I fasted. What did your fasting? I was hungry every single day from suhoor to... No, that's not what... Like, I hate to tell you this, we don't even feel the fast anymore because of how much we've become accustomed to eating in suhoor time, and then how much we eat at iftar. Very few of us fast where we actually feel I'm sorry, no offense to anybody who has ande, parathe, sharate, everything. I'm really sorry. Hopefully you continue. Wallahi, but anyways, we don't even get to actually feel it. And even if we did, at least we know at exactly what time we're going to be breaking the fast. Sahaba, they just went on fasting. We know what's 6:20. That's it, man. I can't wait. Some kids, they keep like cookies. Well, I used to do them myself, so you can laugh or not. I used to keep cookies and gum in my pocket, just waiting for the sun to go down. And the time it was to break our fast, I used to devour. We know what time we're going to break our fast. There are people. Sahaba was Sahaba. There are people in the world today who will fast in a couple of days from now who probably don't know what they'll have to eat futur for iftar. By the way, we, by the mercy of Allah, take Ramadan to a different. Don't just fast. Yeah, I fasted. What did you get from that fast, though? This is metaphysical. Yeah. But think about it, though. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ is so deep. So deep. Anything that makes my Allah happy, this Ramadan is going to help me bring all of that into my life. Whatever it may be. Obedience to parents. Salat at its fixed time. Recitation of the Holy Quran. Kindness to others, beginning with my siblings, especially the older ones. Every good thing, all good, is going to help come into my life as a result of fasting in Ramadan. That's what fasting does. The same thing applies to Salah, by the way, but that's not the theme of the discussion today. Otherwise, Salat is the same thing. Salat is not just up, down, kiss the ground, in sujood, out of town. No. That's what it's become. Salat had the power to do wonders. But for us, it's become ritual. It's no longer spiritual. That's what it was. Like Salat in the people's lives before us, Wallahi al-Azim, they've taken out nations as a result of Salah. They were almost always outnumbered. They never had the means or the arms like the others. We never, ever won by dint of any of that stuff. We had Salat is what we had. We had Quran is what we had. Trust me. Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, number 2. Number 2. So number 1, the recitation of the Holy Quran in abundance. Number 2, when you finally get tired of reading Quran, and that's not going to happen. I wish I could tell you that. I wish there's somebody here who reads so much, legit. They actually got tired one day. I'm tired, bro. Tired of what? I'm tired of reading Quran. How long did you read for? I read for a whole hour. One guy in the masjid in the East End once asked me, he said, there's a hadith al-Qudsi. Allah said, "Man shaghalahu al-Qur'an an dhikri wa masalati ataytuhu afdala ma utiya as-sa'ilin." Allah said, he who is so busy and occupied with my book, reading, pondering, reflecting, translating, like learning the translation of the Holy Quran, you're so busy and preoccupied with it, I give them more from his treasures and mercy and bounties, blessings, boons. I give that person who's so busy with the Quran more than the one that I give who is busy asking of me my favors. So he said to me, do you think I qualify? I don't have time to do dua. I looked at him. I said, my friend, I'm sorry if you like it or not. I'm going to leave it in like a little while. I said to him, are you kidding me? Do you really not have time in your day to make dua to Allah? This applies to that person who reads till probably their eyes bleed. Yeah. Who just goes on reading and reading and reading. They had no time to make dua. Allah says to that individual, I'll give you more than I give to the one that's sitting there making dua all the time. Let's be real with ourselves. One day will come when all of us are actually going to get tired. I'm tired of what? Playing soccer. I'm tired of playing games. I'm tired of watching. I feel so lethargic and lazy and sluggish. I'm tired of... Who here has ever got tired of... I said this recently somewhere else. I'll share it with you too. I've got a sister. And this sister is the sibling that came right after me. We're 8. I'm number 4. She's number 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm number 4 and she's number 5. We're 8. Number 5, about 11 years ago, had a child after 10 years. Finally, Allah blessed number 5 with a child. And then 6 months after number 5 had a child, one day she went outside for a stroll with her daughter, and she came back home. And as Allah had decreed, the moment she got to the threshold of her house, she collapsed. She had a cardiac arrest. 11 years has gone by. She's never recovered. She's in a vegetative state. Now, let me tell you why I told you this, though. The day it happened, the night it happened, I told myself, I'm going to do something remarkable tonight, something I've never done in my life, to try to draw Allah's mercy. So I said, tonight I'm going to pray 100 rak'ahs of nafil salah. 100 nafil rak'ahs. I got to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. And as pathetic as I am with this big mouth that I have, I just talk big. I told you earlier. I got to 18 and I stopped. 18. The one day that I vowed, tonight it's going down. 18. Like, I should be a loser even sharing this story with you 11 years later. Now let me tell you about one of our giants. Name, Ahmad bin Hanbal. Practice every day. Now this isn't a Ramadan special. This is a daily special. What is it? 300 rak'ahs of nafil salah. I'm telling you, it just made my stomach shake. 300 rak'ahs of nafil salah. I don't think I pray 300 in 6 months. Nafil. I'm not talking about sunnah muakkada, witr, wajib, fard, nafil. All well documented and recorded. Call me, email me later. I'll tell you everything. I'll show you everything. 300 rak'ahs of nafil salah. Who here will aspire to be him? That's what this talk's about. Drove 41 minutes to be here on time for this. Who's down? Who wants to read like Shafi'i this Ramadan? 61 Qurans. Who wants to pray like Ahmad bin Hanbal this Ramadan? 300 rak'ahs of nafil salah. I got it all. I'll play basketball 1v1. I'll smoke you. Good for you. Soccer? Don't even ask. I'll take you. Yeah. Who here wants to compete in how many rak'ahs we can? Bro, you okay? It's 2024, fam. What are you talking about? Keep talking about it like this. Keep talking about it like this. One day it's going to be in Ar-Rashaad. We're going to have this competition. One day when you don't even know it, outside of Salat time, like Sahaba used to come to the masjid, and the Prophet ﷺ said, "Ma ajlasakum." What brings you people here? One of the elders or the committee members are going to come to the masjid, see a bunch of 20-year-olds. What are you guys here for? Tonight we're going to compete to see who can perform the most rak'ahs of Nafal Salah, inspired by Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal. So, a very great fitna took place in the Ummah. And unfortunately, he was flogged and he was lashed and he was whipped for it. Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal. He was on the haqq. He was on the truth. Unquestionably, unequivocally. But anyways, after he was flogged, he had to cut his practice from 300 to 150. But before you're disappointed, though, he was only 81 years at the time. 81 years old. Bruh. Yo, wallahi, I see these stories, I get like, yo, what am I doing with my life? I start rethinking my life. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. What are we talking about? Trying to abandon sin. Hopefully in Ramadan, we can abandon this sin. I'm not going to discount or diminish anything from anyone or undermine this. This is the greatest dub you'll get in Ramadan. If you can cut out an evil practice, this is the most beautiful Ramadan you've ever had. But they're not worried about that. They're worried about, all right, let's put this in fifth gear. This bad boy is about to take off. Ramadan just started. Do you have any clue? Yeah, we're going to chill. Chill? What are you talking about chill? The only chilling I know come the month of Ramadan, let's go to the masjid and read. Let's go. I dare any of you to do this. I swear, do it. Be that awkward one. I tell people, when I die, I want to go down and be remembered as the annoying one. I'm not here to fundraise. I don't need your money. I need nothing from you. I know to some of you, this is annoying. Some of you are like, oh God, like who's going to do what he's talking about? Somebody is. Nobody's going to read the Quran 61 times. I don't think. But if she did, please call me. Wallahi, I'd love to become your friend, for the record. Because friends like that are needles in a haystack. They just don't come around anymore. I got friends. Yeah. But yeah, those are the friends you need. You need friends like Abdullah bin Rawaha. Remember Abdullah bin Rawaha from the Battle of Mu'tah? He used to tell Mu'adh bin Jabal. Mu'adh bin Jabal, we know. 25-year-old Grand Mufti. You want to know what Grand Mufti means? He's allowed to give fatwa while the Prophet ﷺ is alive. That's the definition of a Grand Mufti. Giving fatwa, and not just a mufti from the block. أَعْلَمُهُمْ بِالْحَلَالِ وَالْحَرَامِ. Nobody in the galaxy of that people knows more about halal and haram than my Mu'adh bin Jabal. You want to know how much I love him? Wallahi inni la uhibbuka ya Mu'adh. I can't emphasize in English how much love there is in this statement of the Prophet ﷺ to Mu'adh bin Jabal. He's 25. And he used to tell Abdullah bin Rawaha, yo, let's sit down and talk about Allah for a bit. Whose iman is like mountains. Somebody asked Abdullah ibn Umar, we read this in Ta'aleem just last night or the night before. Did the Sahaba ever laugh? You know, when you hear about the stories of these people, you're like, so did they even laugh? Like, what's up with you? He said, of course. They laughed. Don't you worry. They laughed. They smiled. وَإِيمَانُهُمْ فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ أَعْظَمُ مِنَ الْجِبَالِ. But though they laughed, Iman in their hearts was greater than mountains. Mu'adh bin Jabal is a mountain of knowledge and eminence and nobility and Iman. But he's telling Abdullah bin Rawaha, yo, Abdullah, let's sit down and talk about Allah, man. Why is it got to be awkward for? Talking about Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu shouldn't be awkward. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. We're about to fast. I tell you, we're going to fast. Almost all of us here, except for the little youngins. The rest of us are all going to fast. Hopefully, we didn't just get from this fast what we only got in the past, but this Ramadan is going to be different. Number one, the level of Quran. Take it to a whole different level. Number two, recite. Nawafil. As much as you can. If you don't have time because you're giving so much to the recitation of the Holy Quran, that is excellent. Number three, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu was asked, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu, كيف كنتم تستقبلون شهر رمضان? You people from that era, how did you people welcome the month of Ramadan? It's a very different answer. He said, ما كان أحدنا يجرأ أن يستقبل الهلال وفي قلبه مثقال ذرة حقد على أخيه المسلم. He said, not one of us would welcome the month of Ramadan except that our hearts were freed, cleaned, liberated from any ill feeling that we could harbor towards any other Muslim. This is extremely important. Otherwise, everything that we've just spoken about and we're going to try so hard to accomplish might just be lingering and just jeopardized as a result of this. Don't keep any ill feeling in our hearts towards anyone for anything. I mean, we shouldn't go to sleep. All of this that we're talking about, the truth is, we're supposed to live like this every single day. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. This is why we fast in the month of Ramadan too, so that we may attain taqwa, is what we got during the month of Ramadan, but we lived by this throughout the entire year. It wasn't just that taqwa we executed, displayed, and that's the month of Ramadan is gone. And so, no. This was what we were supposed to be living by throughout the entire year. The truth is, we're supposed to live like this every single day of our lives. So the one who fasts and worships and exerts himself in that worship during the month of Ramadan, I told you earlier, he or she really gets to feel what Eid is like. The one who lived like this, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, lived a life of لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. The day that he or she died is the day of Eid. Yeah, that's when he or she is now celebrating, done with the tragedies and the miseries and the difficulties and the hardships of this world. Case closed. We weren't made for this place to begin with. Yahya bin Ma'ad al-Razi rahimahullah, Ibn Ata'ullah Sikandari rahimahullah said, he said, we're not the people of this world trying to make it to Jannah. He said, we're not the people of this world trying to make, he said, we're the people of Jannah trying to get out of this world. This is not us. Trust me, for those of you who are so heavily invested, I know Bitcoin's going up recently too. I hate to tell you this is not us. Wallahi, this is not us. When we see what Allah has written for you and me in the life hereafter, we're going to laugh. We're going to laugh. How did I exert myself in that which was completely futile? It was completely pointless, completely baseless. How? I believed in Allah. I professed I believe in Allah, but this is not what we were. No. The day that he or she left this world, who lived the life of, so that you may attain taqwa. This person's celebrating. He's been waiting. The dua of that Bedouin that the Prophet ﷺ loved so much that he gave him some nuggets of gold. He said, what was it? Tell me. So he made a lengthy dua in which he amazingly praises Allah. And then he concludes with these words, Allah, make the best day of my life the day that I meet with you. We're afraid of that day. How are you afraid of something that's supposed to be the greatest? It's supposed to be the most aspired for, we're most yearning, enthusiastic about that. I'm afraid though. We don't know what it's going to be like. Why? Because let's be honest, man. We all love Jannah. We all love hearing Jannah and the bounties of Jannah. Who wants to work towards achieving it? It comes at a cost, right? It's going to take a little bit of, that's what Ramadan is. And then number 3 was what? We clean our hearts of any ill feelings, any animosity, any jealousy, hatred, any towards anyone. Remove it. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is so. I think that's when a phone. Oh, it's not mine. That's when I think a phone rings or something. That's what happens. The Prophet ﷺ was so particular about this. Let me share with you a few incidents, okay? On the eve of Badr, we all know Badr. I hope we do, brother. Badr, the most illustrious battle in the history of Islam. Year 2 after Hijrah. Month, Ramadan. Date, 17th. The night before, 16th. The Prophet ﷺ is making his rounds. The Sahaba radiallahu anhu, making sure they stand in their rows. There's one Sahabi radiallahu anhu who's kind of out of line. So the Prophet ﷺ nudges him. He pokes him. After he does this Sahabi radiallahu anhu, I never heard his name before this incident. He's one of the 313 enlisted. So, I mean, these guys, they were told by Allah, the hadith of Imam Bukhari, do anything you like after this. You've made it. You're a made man, all 313. Those who participated in the Battle of Badr. What a status. اعملوا ما شئتم فقد غفرت لكم. Jibreel alayhi salam said to the Prophet, the hadith of Bukhari, who are the best of this ummah? He said the 313 that participated in Badr. The Prophet asked Jibreel, who are the best of the angels? He said the 313 angels that participated in Badr with that 313. Of course, there's other ranks amongst them too. Jibreel number 1, Mikael number 2, and so on. Anyhow, the night before, the Prophet was making the sufuf, and this Sahabi, Sawad bin Ghaziyya is his name. Sawad bin Ghaziyya. He's out of line. The Prophet pokes him. After he pokes him, he tells the Prophet, "Awja'tani ya Rasulullah, wa qad ba'athaka Allahu bil haqq." You poked me. You caused me a little bit of harm. It hurt. It didn't hurt. He's a Sahabi. Oh, trust me, it didn't hurt the Sahabi at all. You hurt my feelings. Excuse me. But this Sahabi is not hurt. He's got another agenda. He says to the Prophet, Allah sent you with the truth. Allah sent you to establish justice. You just poked me. I'm bothered by this. You caused me pain. The Prophet ﷺ, I said this earlier, some other time. I said, if that was me, I've got Badr to worry about tomorrow. 1,000 armed to their teeth. You know what Badr is? The Prophet ﷺ made this dua, the hadith of Bukhari. Allahumma in tuhlik hadhihi al-isabata falam tu'bad. Oh Allah, if we, the Muslims, are defeated tomorrow, no one will remain on this earth to worship you ever again. So we better win, in other words. Imagine the weight of Badr on the head of the Prophet ﷺ the night before the actual engaging in hostilities. And you've got this one companion worried about a poke. If that was me, the Prophet would have never done this. I'm saying me. I would have slapped him too. Na'udhu billah. Just try to put things into context. Never would I. If it was somebody else, not a Sahabi. But think about it. You're worried about this right now? We've got Badr tomorrow and you're worried about... The Prophet ﷺ, no. Not the Prophet though. The Prophet ﷺ said, okay. And he picked up his shirt. He said, go ahead, Sawad. Take revenge. The Sahaba are looking at this like, what? Really? Badr tomorrow? You're worried about a poke and he's giving him his... Go ahead. Revenge. Sawad said, yes. Mission accomplished. He grabbed the Prophet's stomach. He embraced it, caressed it, he kissed it. The Prophet was shocked. He said, Ma hamalaka ala dhalika ya Sawad? What are you doing? You asked for revenge, poke for poke. This ain't no joke. I'm paraphrasing. So, he said, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, I know tomorrow we're going. There's no guarantee we're coming back. I wanted that the last thing my skin should touch with would be yours. This is why. This is why I was inspired to do this. He says, okay. He's worried about a poke. Let me settle the score now before Badr tomorrow because this Sahabi might just not return. And if he doesn't, on the day of judgment, he chooses to settle the score instead. Oh, that's a problem. That's a big problem. I got beef with him. I don't talk to him. Oh, we haven't talked for 10 years over the most petty, trivial, nonsensical issue. We don't talk. What are you talking about? And I'm talking about fellow Muslim, blood brothers from the same mothers. No, we don't even talk anymore. You know how many examples of this I know myself? So before Ramadan starts, again, you don't go to sleep but with this clean heart every single night. But especially before the month of Ramadan, you don't know. You don't want your good deeds. You're working so hard. You're exerting yourself. You're pushing yourself. You're the Quran. You're reading and reading and praying, du'aing and du'aing. But it's all just, no, it's on hold. It's on pause. It's not going to go up. You should have done this, by the way, 15 days ago, 13 to probably be exact. 13 days ago, because one of the individuals who was not forgiven on that special night, regardless, yeah, it was a special night, period. You take all of the ahadith that we have that authenticate its nobility, it was a special night, the 15th of Sha'ban. We should not have gone to sleep but with a clean heart on that. We didn't, for whatever reason. Somebody's wronged you in this world. Somebody said something to you. Somebody's usurped. Somebody's taken. Somebody's cursed. They've backbit. You know, the list goes on. La yara biha ba'san. We just rip people's reputations. We cancel people. We write exposés. We literally backbiting, and this has become the norm. You know, every share on a group trying to kill somebody's reputation. Wallahi, we're so dead. Wallahi, it's going to be so hard on the day of judgment. The hadith of Imam Bukhari. The Prophet ﷺ said, I can't remember the beginning of the hadith. فَلْيَتَحَلَّلْهُ مِنْهُ الْيَوْمِ. Anybody who's got any unsettled score with anybody in this world, settle it today. قَبْلَ أَلَّا يَكُونَ دِينَارٌ وَلَا دِرْهَمٌ. Before that day comes, when no money's going to help you. Your reputation, the people you knew, your networks, your plugs, your connections, relax. This is the day of judgment. Oh, I'm going to hire me an attorney. Relax. None of that's going to come to rescue anybody on that day. Settle the score today. فليتحلله منه اليوم قبل أن لا يكون دينار ولا درهم فإن كانت له عمل صالح أخذ منه بقدر مظلمته. So if you had good deeds, and I hate to tell you this, sorry, what good deeds do we have, bro? Again, I apologize in advance. What good deeds do you and I have to begin with? How much are we going to actually go back to? If Ali and Umar and Abu Bakr wa Uthman, radiallahu anhu, Abu Bakr wa Umar wa Uthman wa Ali, if they used to, I wish I were a straw. I wish I were a blade of grass. Oh, Ali, you don't have enough provision. What on earth do you and I have? Their provisions were meager. What do we have to begin with? And the Prophet ﷺ said, if he had anything, those good deeds right before his eyes will be transferred into the accounts of those that he had wronged or she had wronged. And then once your good deeds exhaust, that's not it. Oh, I don't have any more to give. No. This is justice we're about to establish. The bad deeds of those that we wronged are now being transferred into our accounts. Wallahi, we don't want that. Settle it now. You know that famous incident we used to read all the time? Beautiful incident. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu once got into a little quarrel, a little problem. He started bickering with his slave. His slave's name is Rabi'a from the tribe of Aslam. And they started arguing over a piece of land, an estate. So Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu said it was his. Rabi'a said, no, it's mine. They started to argue like this in the heat of the moment because he's a human after all, accidentally perhaps. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu said a word to him that he didn't like. Unlike you and I, a day, a week, a month goes by. No. This is Abu Bakr, the greatest of this ummah. He realized it right away. Check. He said, oh my goodness. I can't believe I just said that. He said, Rabia. He said, yes. He said, I just said something to you. I order you to say the exact same thing back to me right now. Rabia said, nope. He said, Wallahi, you better say it to me. Else I'm going to go to the Prophet ﷺ and complain about you. Rabia said, whoa, wait a minute. You said the word. You're going to complain about me. The people of Aslam, the tribe of Rabia, they came to find out. And they said, he said it and he wants to go complain. We got your back, Rabia. They were big on this whole tribalism. You don't mess with a single one of them. The tribe of Aslam said, let us come with, we're going to go with him and we'll defend him. Rabi'a didn't know this. Rabi'a came with Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. Rabi'a came to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. As he was going to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he turned around. ثُمَّ الْتَفَتْ. He looked back and he saw all of his people, the tribe of Aslam. He said, and what are you folks doing here? They said, we're here to take your back. What's going on? He complained and he's going to go, no, that's not how things work. That doesn't make sense. Rabi'a said, hold on, folks. You've got no clue who this is between. This is between me and Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. If Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu just comes now and sees that all of you ganged up to take my back against him, and he becomes displeased with me, do you know what that means? Do you have any clue? The Prophet ﷺ will become displeased with me because Abu Bakr is displeased with me. And when the Prophet ﷺ is displeased with me, Allah will become displeased with me because of the Prophet's displeasure. Abu Bakr, and once Allah is displeased, then what? Who's going to save me then? Because all of you go right back to where you belong. I don't need anybody to, don't worry about this. We'll go to the Prophet ﷺ. Abu Bakr said one word. One word. For us, it's like we break hearts, we take people's this. Yeah, you understand? So keep these things in mind. There's a few other things too, inshallah. Whatever evil there is, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for us to remove that from our hearts. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. There's only 27 more slides, inshallah. Maybe next year we'll continue with those, however. But may Allah make it easy for us to make this the best. Do whatever it can, whatever we can, omission or commission. Whether it's adding the good deeds, A, the recitation of the Holy Quran, B, nawafil, dua. Make dua in excess. Just keep making dua and dua and dua. And not just, don't just make dua, but like talk to Allah. That incident, Mufti Taqi, they almost shot him dead. It's a miraculous incident. For those who've read it, wrote all about it. Mufti Muhammad bin Adam al-Kawthari, whose father just died, Allah yarhamuhu. So he wrote about the incident. And they asked Mufti Taqi about the incident. And he said, I read these du'as every morning. Many of us here read it. Bismillahi alladhi la yadurru ma'asmihi shay'un fil ardi wa la fis sama'i wa huwa as-sami'ul 'alim. Like 2 people were shot dead. A few of them were injured. He said, not a single bullet grazed my body. He said, I don't just read these du'as. I actually ponder, reflect over what I'm reading. I told you, if we knew what Quran did for this ummah, what salat did for this ummah, what du'as did for this ummah, we wouldn't give it up for anything in the world. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for us. Ameen. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. It's Maghrib salat time. You guys can get ready.